Oh man, that was so awesome. If you've known me for long enough, you know that I was not the biggest fan of the Justice League movie from a couple years ago. I thought it was clunky, forced, and predictable. But one of the main things I had a problem with was how I perceived Jason Momoa's interpretation of Aquaman. I thought it was very... he's not cool enough for the modern age, make him cooler, say cool things. So obviously I was never overly excited at the prospect of an Aquaman movie, but I gotta say, he won me over. He was bordering on surfer dude for a little while, but there's a lot of heart. He was very, very good in this film. I was very impressed. It's probably the best thing I've seen him do since Game of Thrones. And the supporting cast was fantastic. Patrick Wilson, at first I thought one-dimensional villain, gonna hate him. To his credit, there's moments where you can tell he's conflicted, and it's not necessarily expressed by the character, it's done by the actor, and there's a lot to be said for someone who can do that. Amber Heard is not an actress I'd heard of before. Haha. There was moments I thought that she might be a little bit Scarlett Johansson-esque, but for the DCEU, and I wasn't expecting that. I thought she was going to be a very... again, one-dimensional love interest, but there's a lot of depth to her character as well, so props, movie. And Willem Dafoe keeps you guessing. I didn't know if he was a good guy or a bad guy. He plays that role so well. Now, I would butcher his name to attempt to say it, but there is one guy who you meet at the very beginning of the film who becomes sort of this setup villain for a future Aquaman film. Because it's not really been shown too much in the trailers, I won't spoil what his role is, but trust me, he's very one-dimensional. Revenge for my father kind of thing. It seemed like he was solely there to take the brunt off of Patrick Wilson and make him seem by proxy a more rounded character. And again, the film did that very well. There's this unnamed adversarial character. When he ends up in possession of weapons of the Atlanteans, it's kind of cool, but he's such a one-dimensional and predictable character with the most basic and cliched of motives. You killed my father. And I can't get behind that kind of character anymore. Not unless you go into the roots of everything and give me a character that I can hate but understand better. And this is not a character that anyone's going to root for, feel sympathy for, not at all. And that takes care of the characters. Now let's talk about Atlantis. What the hell? Throughout the beginning of the film, you get this sense that there's a deep-rooted, almost religious core to what the Atlanteans, whichever, are all about. And so when you, as seen in the trailers, when you see the city and all of the technology and the cars and the traffic and the border control, it kind of throws you out of the film temporarily. At least it did me, but not irreparably, because there's still so much going on, and it is beautiful. Beautiful. So colorful. This is definitely a film that you're going to see mentioned at the Academy Awards for visual effects, because wow. That's not to say everything looks good. There's only so much you can do, and there's a massive battle scene where it's literally all CGI. The whole thing. And it's really cool because they do a tracking shot like they do in the Marvel films, but everything on screen is CGI. I'd be amazed if there was a single actual human being involved with that sequence, other than the guys behind the camera. And there's a massive battle that you see in the trailer where they all just charge at each other, and it is so epic. This movie is graphic, not bloody horror graphic, because I'll tell you right now, if there was blood in this film for every time someone got bitten in half by a shark, or had their arm cut off, or just got straight up eaten, or had their head bitten off, it probably would have been either high 15 or maybe even 18, because there is a lot of graphic violence. But again, because there's no blood, well, at least not much, it's okay. It's okay that that guy's arm is on the floor because he's not bleeding. Let's talk about the music. Wow, 3 films on the bounce. The music is superb. I want the soundtrack. Not surprising though, because the Gregson-Williams family are always popping out the goods. Always. Now, one of the things I think that I'm going to point out, and a lot of other critics are going to point out, is that the film suffers a little bit of an identity crisis. It doesn't know if it wants to be a lighthearted homage to sort of superhero films, or an actual superhero film, or a comedic superhero film akin to Ant-Man, or a serious superhero film akin to, say, Man of Steel. that works in its favor, actually. When I was watching the film, I thought, this doesn't know what it wants to be. It has really emotional, heartfelt moments, and then it has ridiculous moments, and then it has really awesome but stupid moments, and then it has another heartfelt moment. And then I realized, this is the only film I've seen in recent memory that actually manages to pull this off. I don't mind that it has all these different elements. I don't mind that it seems to be making its own subgenre of many other genres. I didn't mind. Now, I'm not overly critical of films if I can help it, but I do tend to dislike films that take me for a fool and say, here's the movie you're watching. No, just kidding. It's actually this one. And this film does that a lot. But it always comes back around to being the film I want to watch, which is very impressive. There's this really touching dynamic to how Arthur Curry sees himself and how he almost blames himself for the problems that arise when his mother is condemned because she had what they keep referring to as a bastard or a mongrel son with a man, the lighthouse keeper. It's really well done. I didn't expect to find so many cliche Romeo and Juliet things working for this film, but it really does. There's not much else to say. The film is ridiculous, and there is an overabundance of CGI and color that will just blow your eyes out of your head, especially if you see it on the big screen. But it works. The music is great, the characters are great, the story, while ridiculous, you follow it. It takes twists and turns, it does things you expect, things you don't expect. It has one-liners that are crap, and it has one-liners that are great. It has, ooh, did he seriously just spear that guy against the wall? There was a point towards the end where I was like, how can it still be going? What else is there to do? But it was original, it was fun, it was grounded, it never took itself too seriously, and it never tried not taking itself seriously enough. There was always a heartfelt moment, and you can't help but praise a film for doing that. I praise films for doing this. This is a fun movie. This is a great action-adventure movie. And yeah, it does have an identity crisis, and halfway through the film, it seems to think it's a video game movie following an RPG formula where you've got to get this, and to get there, you have to follow the map there, and then when you get there, you have to do this. And admittedly, I did think, that's a video game. But I never at any point in the film thought, this is bad, I'm not enjoying this. Several times I said to myself, this is awesome, I can't wait to see this again on 4K Blu-ray. I'm absolutely going to buy this. And I very much doubt I'm going to see a better film than this before the new year. So yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Ascended card. This is really good. You've got to buy this when it comes out. No, you need to run out and see it right now. It's really fun. You're going to have a good time. This is a great time. Thank you for watching this video, you guys. If you liked it, tear that like button limb from limb. And if you want to be among the first to be notified of new content on the channel, go ahead and slam that subscribe button and ring the bell. Just before we go, I want to say thank you to everybody who supported the channel. As I tweeted out, YouTube did a cleanse of my channel and discovered that there were a lot of stagnant accounts, and my subscriptions has been cut in half. And it hurts, but at the same time, I'm relieved because I don't want to make videos for people who just want to be a number. I want to make videos that people want to watch. That's my goal. That's what I love to do. That's the reason I'm doing this. That's the reason I've completely rebooted my whole channel as a reflection of what I love. And I hope you guys love all the things you love just as much. This month, I've also taken a look at Robin Hood and Mortal Engines. If you want to see those reviews, you're already in the right place. I hope to see you there.